What's up, guys? Welcome to the Fomo Factory, and let's talk about how to get completely wrecked with crypto. Because if you do not know this kind of stuff, then unfortunately you will, no matter if it's a bear market, no matter if it is a bull market. So I think it is very important to talk about this. Whether you already witnessed a full bear market or a bull market and you already have that experience, or that this is going to be your first complete cycle, because mistakes are very easy to be made with crypto. So let's talk a little bit about that, and also a year before the crypto halving. Are you waiting for a new bottom in crypto right now? Is that smart? Let's take a look. So if you have not liked the video already, please do, would help me a lot. I will be very happy if you do. If you have not subscribed to the channel, feel free to do so. Join the club. And there's a Telegram link down below where you can join our community as well and talk to us. Now, let's start, take a look at the market. I dropped a pretty quick video this morning where we discussed some altcoins, and we basically saw on cam that the market was going down, and after the recording it went down a little further. But I saw some pretty positive things as well, and it all has to do with rushing and bottom buying. So it's a great bridge for the concept of the video itself. If we take a look at Bitcoin on the daily chart, you see that I have drawn the bull market support band. Well, I didn't draw it, I pulled it up in the indicators, but the bull market support band, the red and the green line. On the longer time frame, it's usually more accurate, but on a daily time frame, it also gives you a pretty good indication whether we are in an uptrend or in a downtrend. You can see right here that once we broke above the bull market support band, we basically, well, we flew, right? We flew. We even broke this legacy support right here. Came down quick below it, but we got back up. And also here, when we broke it, it was a pretty big wick that took us all the way to this 50 weekly daily moving average. And that's usually, if you break a level like that, then yeah, there's a big crash coming. Now we got above it because the market is just really strong right now. And what I now really like to see is, you know, a lot of people in this market now on Telegram or on Twitter, I see these people and they say like, oh damn, the market is crashing, big correction, big dip, this and that. Really, bro? Where? I don't see it. We have another red candle like we had here, everywhere, basically. What I find very important is that we stay above this bull market support band, and that's exactly what we do. We have even multiple sources of support right now, and as long as we hold that, I am definitely not concerned. So we found support here with the bull market support band, and that band is moving up, right? And now look where we found support, like exactly, basically, right? If we zoom in on this thing right here, you see that we found exact support right there. It's incredible, right? Now, I'm not saying like, yeah, that can be broken. Of course, it happens all the time, but it's a good indication if we actually find support right there. Now, also, what I find very interesting is that this red box that I've drawn, that was the previous resistance area, basically. We had a lot of resistance, well, support back here, and we had support here, so that's a huge level, of course. Now that we broke above it, we come down and we tested as support as well. So to be honest, looks pretty strong. I personally opened a long on Bitcoin right now. I have set my stop loss, so don't ever come at me like, oh, if the market comes down, like, oh, you got liquidated. I'm not stupid. I set my stop losses. But longing Bitcoin from this area seems a reasonable trade, in my opinion. The total 3 is also, oh, and by the way, if you look on at Bitcoin on the 4 hour, also, what do you see? Bitcoin on the 4 hour, we have this yellow, blue, and red line. All right. If you use TradingView, add them. I'm going to do a trading masterclass, and this is one of the first things that I would like to share with you. Add them. Go search for NWA, I wanted to say, but WMA, moving average weighted. So this moving average Basically what it does, it takes the average last candles and the last few candles weight a little more, and then you get a very good average of what the market is doing and what the average levels are. Exactly, it's slightly different than the simple, the SMA, the simple moving average. So this is a really good one, works better on the higher time frames. But then again, once we broke down right here, look where we found support. Exactly on the red line, in this case, is the 200 weighted moving average. We found support right there, and I'm not saying that, I mean, this just happened, right? We can come down way further than this, so that's possible. But for now, we found support right there, which is quite incredible, right? If you lose this level, you can say like, okay, then we go to this level, like we did right here, right? We found support, we went a little below it, but overall this line acted as support. And if we break that, then we just go to the next one. These are the targets that you can set for yourself. So yeah, what I'm basically doing is I'm longing Bitcoin from here to at least here, right? That's a nice trade. I'm doing it on a 14x leverage. So could work, could definitely work. The total 3, before I want to dive into what it's basically about. Look how beautiful this is, guys. This is really cool, because we talked a lot about this downwards trend, right? That Bitcoin was also in, and we broke it a long time ago, and the altcoin market did not do that yet. And we finally did a couple of days ago. And I was saying not too long ago, like, okay, don't buy right away on the breakout, wait for a retest, and if it actually retests, then you might start deploying. And well, it's not exactly yet the retest that I am looking for, but look at least how we bounced. Perfect. Like, we broke out, we came down, and we found a perfect support, like picture perfect. I cannot zoom in enough, like it's actually on that line, of course, right? And yeah, it's incredible. And also this 100 moving average right here functions as support. So, you know, the total 3, it took a hit, but if you look at all these averages and this line, you can see that it's still on track as long as we are here. And if we do not close a couple of days below this, then I'm not concerned. So I want to see how this day and tomorrow is going to end. Once I think it's time to deploy into altcoins, I definitely make a video as soon as possible. And I will not get the timing 100% correct. I might be a day too late, I might be a day too soon, whatever. But I'd rather be too late than too soon. But for now, you know, this wick can still push through. So it's now too soon for me to say, unless you bought this exact dip. But it's about patience. Therefore, that's what I'm trying to say. A lot of people, they try to catch these hypes, like everybody's talking about an altcoin season and how things are blowing up and this and that. If you have been in crypto long enough, you know how to kind of ignore that. And I don't say like if everything is bullish, you should be bearish, but don't get ahead of yourself, basically, because the fear and greed index is also something that you can use for that. It's now pretty greedy, right? And usually you sell when there's greed and you buy when there is fear. It goes completely against what seems logical and against your emotions. But guess what? Making money in crypto, if you do not have emotions, then you would have been a millionaire already, right? So we too fucking emotional right here. Stop crying, start looking at the charts. That's basically it, right? So I am a little patient when it comes to that. Because, like I said, you do not, and I'm gonna repeat this a couple of times in the coming weeks, but you do, well, coming week, you do not want this to be a 2018 story where we had the same downtrend on altcoins. We broke out, close a week even above it, so people thought like, oh, it's now confirmation, let's buy. And where did they bought? Here. And where did we went? Just like 4 weeks later, 3 times as low, and that's a lot, right? 60%, because this includes stables, right? But these, if everything goes well, don't go down 60%. So actual altcoins go down way more than 60%. This is the part where people got completely destroyed, right? This is really fucked up. Sorry for putting it like that. If you have little kids watching or something like that, tell me. But otherwise, I'm happy to curse. On the other hand, be patient, but also be prepared. Right, like what I said in this morning's video as well, is I have a bag of altcoins, because what if we do break out, right? This is not 2018. It's 2023. We can't compare, right? We can make comparisons. How do you say that? But it's not actual that time, and it won't be that way, right? So you do not know what's going to happen. So therefore, I have a bag of altcoins. I'm prepared for the fact that we might go up, but I'm also prepared for the fact that we might come down, because it is just not really that sure yet, right? It's clearly not a big bull run, especially not a clear big altcoin bull run. So if it still can come down a lot with these, you know, risks about securities and regulations and everything, right? And altcoins are just a huge risk right now. And there are always people that said like, no, you were wrong, because I bought the bottom right here and now I'm already up like 50% or 100% or whatever. Could be, but the risk is that it's still another lower high or a lower low. As long as that pattern has not really changed and confirmed, then I'm not celebrating too soon, basically, because that's just what you want to do. You just want to look at the chart. And this goes for altcoins. I think we are all sick of Bitcoin. But yeah, it's just not the time. Believe me, in the bull run, this channel is going to be so freaking interesting. But I don't want to talk too much about stuff when I think it's not the time to talk about it yet. I'd rather prepare you for that, what we are going to talk about. But if you look at altcoins, right, for now, it is a high, a lower high, a lower high, a lower high, a lower high, a slightly lower high. But for now also, we are at the moment working on printing a higher high. But that's a wick, right? It is a wick. And yet technically this is already a lower high, but it's not like super convincing or anything, right? It's not like that you can look at this chart. I really have to zoom in to look like, okay, is it? You really want a convincing higher high to see like, okay, the pattern has really changed, right? That's basically what you want. Now, what I also said, and that's the cool thing, a year before the Bitcoin halving. It's pretty funny. How do you say that? My confidence is growing in myself, because I found this, it sounds like I'm a fucking child, but I found this pattern myself, and I talked a lot about this on this channel, and I was like, yeah, okay, but this is my theory, and you know, but then a couple, like 2 weeks ago or something like that, I heard Eric Crown say the same thing. If you don't know him, he's one of the best analysts on Twitter and YouTube, and he also was talking about that year before the halving. And I felt like, okay, cool, right? It's a confirmation that we are looking at the right thing right here. Because if we want to know where altcoins are going, okay, let's take a look. Maybe we can find something, right? But therefore, we can better first look at Bitcoin, because at the end of the day, altcoins are just doing what Bitcoin does with a little delay overall. You know that sheet where it says first Bitcoin goes, then Ethereum goes, then the low cap then the the high caps, layer ones and all that, and then the low micro caps they go. So far, that's pretty accurate. But did Bitcoin really go already? Like, yeah, it's a good run, but it's not bull run or anything like that, right? But then again, what do I expect for Bitcoin? Very quick, I talked about this a lot, so I'm not going to waste a lot of time on this. Usually, a year before the halving, the pre-pump already starts. The red line is a year before the halving, the blue line is the halving. So we have a year before, we see a little pump. Then at the halving, we go kind of sideways for 2 months, and then the parabolic bull run starts. Same right here. A year before the halving, we have quite a pump. Then the halving itself, 2 months going sideways, parabolic bull run. I'm not going to be the guy that says, yeah, but this time is different because there might be a recession coming now. It's a fucking stupid argument. Yes, a recession could definitely send Bitcoin lower. But then again, I feel like what did we had already? We had like Luna, FTX, Celsius, Voyager. We have war, COVID, inflation, interest rates, a lot of stuff, more than I just said. And Bitcoin is already 2x from its bottom. It's Bitcoin's best bear market so far, and really by far. So I don't feel like one such a thing could send Bitcoin completely out of its structure right here. So I believe in this 4-year cycle. It's completely intact, right? And if we look at that, we are slightly, that year before halving is kind of past right now. So if we, for example, look at 2019, then we should be somewhere around here. Let's say, May 2019 is where we are right now, give or take, okay? Let's take a look at the total 3. In May 2019, and if it was actually, by the way, this easy, what I'm going to say right now, then we all be rich. So it's not going to play exactly out like this, but this is the best we have, right? So May 2019, give or take, this is kind of where we are right now. Does it make sense? No, not really, because here we were already out of this falling wedge, and here we are still in it, right? So the altcoin market this time, the altcoin bear market, is taking longer than last time, right? So that's already something that is a little different. In 2018 it was more straight down. It was way more down as well. The altcoin market, this bear market, hasn't bled nearly as much as we did with this one. So also, I think the pump won't nearly be as big as this one. But then again, let's say that we are somewhere around here, right? What did altcoins do back here? Well, it's basically the same as Bitcoin. It had a very good run. We came down again. And overall, that coming year is pretty much sideways before we really took off, right? So if people are now calling for an alt season, I mean, in 2019, this was, the alt season that we had, 240% overall. That was a 5, 6, 7, maybe even a 10x for some altcoins. But I'm afraid that most people that hear the word alt season are thinking about this right here, right? This was the big alt season in a big parabolic bull run. We might get that again, but not before quarter 2, maybe even 3, 2024, in my opinion. Maybe even later, right? Because that's, again, the Bitcoin halving. 2 months after the halving, Bitcoin usually takes off. Altcoins follow a little later. 2 months after the halving should be somewhere June 2024. So yeah, that's the point where I think Bitcoin is going to take off. Yeah, and then June, July, August, maybe July, August 2024, maybe it's time for altcoins. But it's too early to make a prediction so far ahead. Like, you're not going to time the exact month or so, I think. But we do need to keep in mind that if we are somewhere around here right now, right, what was the best thing here to do? Well, overall, not much, because look what we did for altcoins. We did not even make a double bottom. We technically made a lower low, right? That was December 2018 was the low for altcoins, but in March 2020, so 1.5 years later, we went lower. Right, so all of this action and people calling for an alt season and getting mentally fucked because first we have a parabolic run right here, and then we crash all the way down, and then we go up again, and everybody thinks like, oh, there we finally go, and then there comes a crash. Like, that was really a capitulation. Like, whoa, this made people give up, right? Because they didn't believe here anymore, because they already witnessed this and this and this and this and this. They felt like, never mind. Well, this was the place to be. Now, you cannot time the exact bottom, right? If I would have gone back right here and I could have bought here, for example, I would be more than happy, right? Although it was a big difference. That's one thing. Try to let go of that. Also, if you expect that from me on this channel, that we will manage to time the bottom, yeah, then I'm gonna have to disappoint you. That's not gonna work, because that's not how it works in crypto. You cannot time the bottom. Even if you do your best research and your best TA and you are well prepared, it's still 80% luck if you do catch the bottom, at least 80%, right? But we can get as close to the bottom as possible. And I do think that if you look where we came from on the altcoin market and where we are right now, that's 35% up. So it's more like 50% for actual altcoins. I do find that big difference a little too big for me to now go into altcoins. And that's just, if you look at some altcoin charts, right? I mean, Chainlink USDT. I like Chainlink. I want to have Chainlink in my wallet for the next bull run. I think it's going to perform very well. But I don't want to buy Chainlink at $8. That's just, I don't know, it goes against my principles. Just because I know that a couple of months ago, I could have bought it for $5.60, right? That's like 30% lower or something like that. So I feel like, yeah, we might not get there again. Maybe we will, because this is the range. But even if we do not get here exactly, I do think that will be a better entry than this. And what I now let it depend on what the total 3 is going to do. Okay, that's basically my strategy for now. I'm gonna try to be so transparent as possible about it. Again, if we bounce off of this line right here and we go up, let me first put it like this. If this turns out to be a fake out and we go back in it, I'm gonna patiently wait. I'm gonna do nothing, because then there's also a chance that we go down below here. And that's a huge difference, of course, right? Maybe it happens here and that's even lower, but that's a huge difference. So then I don't want to, throw my money away right now. If we do really have confirmation and we bounce off of here, then I will start really dollar costing, and if I decide to buy altcoins with my dollars instead of Bitcoin, then I'm gonna just look at these individual charts, like I said, for example, Chainlink, and I feel like, okay, the total 3, it's broken out. How is Chainlink itself looking? Okay, good. Here are these moving averages right now. This should be horizontal support, somewhere around here. So then I'm gonna buy DCA Chainlink at 750, for example. Or if it gets lower, I'm gonna buy more at $7. That kind of stuff. But what I'm still, waiting for basically is to take a way bigger trade. And that's the last thing I'm going to say before I'm going to wrap it up. But this is, I think, the most important one. And that's by looking at the Bitcoin dominance. By the way, now again, you see that Bitcoin is having a red day, while the Bitcoin dominance is having a pretty green day. Wake me up when sip, whatever. If you know it, you know it. But that shows that altcoins are now the big losers again today, right? That's just what it is. But what I'm basically doing is, I don't believe that Bitcoin will go back to around 15K. I don't believe that. I will be surprised, but I'm open to the fact that Bitcoin might come down to around 20K. However, I think that if Bitcoin comes back down to 24, 25, which doesn't seem that unlikely to me, to be honest. I mean, it is just 16% from where we are right now. 15, 16%, right? And especially after such a pump, where's the real pullback, really, right? From here to here, what kind of pullback have we now really seen? Like this move? There will be more than that. It's crypto. Don't forget that. That could happen in a day. We all know that, right? Whatever. So what I'm about to do is, for now, mostly, whenever Bitcoin has a significant pullback, and I'm not talking about this $1,000 move right here, but a pullback towards 25, and maybe even if it then goes towards 20, then I'm gonna heavily get into Bitcoin, right? Because still, if you look at the Bitcoin dominance, right, for now it's in this range, and I'm gonna trade this range, right? I have altcoins right now. Once it gets low, I'm gonna buy Bitcoin with my altcoins. Once it gets up, I'm gonna buy altcoins with my Bitcoin, etc., etc. But at a certain point, it will break out. It will break out to the upside, but I think that's going to happen halfway next year. But when that happens, then it's that will be the Bitcoin bull run. In my opinion, that will happen when the Bitcoin bull run happens. And I want to be in Bitcoin, but first I want to see the dominance go down. And when the dominance is really lower than what it is right now, and I think that will happen at the same time with a Bitcoin pullback, then I'm gonna buy heavy into Bitcoin. And whenever this goes up, really up in the Bitcoin bull run, I'm gonna deploy it to altcoins. Did I that way missed the altcoin dollar bottom? Probably, because altcoins will probably run to, against a dollar as well. But it doesn't matter because they bleed against Bitcoin. So I can get these altcoins cheaper anyway, although that they are up in price. If you know what I mean. If you don't really understand what I mean, try jump into a Telegram group and I'm gonna explain it better. But that's basically what I am going to do. So that's my, crypto game plan. Don't let these short and small moves distract you from your bigger picture, because it's a small move. In hindsight, you will look at this right now, this Bitcoin move right here, like, what the fuck was that? Like, this is nothing. If you zoom out on the chart, I can pick 20 candles now that are bigger than this one, right? At least, right? So, but we have to see how this plays out. Maybe we go down even further. Dollar is picking up a little steam right here. Understandable, big support level, that 100 and 100.7, give or take. So yeah, that's not that crazy. The S&P is doing pretty good though. So yeah, that's looking fine. So this is a crypto only, but I don't think that the market has opened yet. So that's not that weird. For the rest, is there anything that's really important for you to know right now? Yeah, the total. That's the last thing I want to wrap it up with. The total crypto market looking pretty bullish, to be honest. Looking pretty bullish. I mean, we were in this was the range, right? This was the resistance right here, this red box. We broke out of it, and now it just seems like a retest. It can come down even a little further. And even if it does, we're not back in the range. Yeah, we got rejected from this, whatever it is, the 100 weekly moving average right here. Big level, as you can see right here as well. That was the thing that was holding us once we entered the bull market, and once we broke that, we really went down. So I don't think we will break this level to the upside without a fight. I think the bears are really strong in this territory. So the total crypto market should not really go up that much. So it could be that that means that's because Bitcoin will get rejected right here, and that altcoins will now go up because the Bitcoin dominance goes down. Makes a lot of sense for me. So that's it for now. I want to leave it there, guys. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, appreciate it. If you like the video, if you have any questions, suggestions, leave a comment down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Sorry.